Children are not robots for cramming information. Instead, they are much more complex and versatile human configuration. This module portrays the DNA of a student's persona through multiple intelligence framework of Howard Gardner and 4 planes of living by Deller's Commission. The module tries to help both the teachers and parents to understand a child in his or her totality.
Look at that child, how easily and skillfully he is jumping around the park. Here is another, such a beautiful music in his voice. Look at that girl, how beautifully she plays around. And every child demonstrates some or the other talent, some or the other potentials. What is important is for every parent and teacher to carefully watch and identify. Do you actually do that? Do you actually see when the child is demonstrating certain potentials and certain talents during her normal course of activity in the day? The comprehensive continuous evaluation is an important scientific innovation. Its fundamental purpose is actually identifying the talents that a child displays and thereby help holistic development of the children. And that is the wholesome purpose of education, important for every one of us to understand. That development of the child is a joint responsibility of teacher and the parent. By all means, child is made in the image of God. Essentially, hence, a child is a multi-dimensional personality and not a just intellectual or robotic person. We need to figure out what are the different dimensions in which a child can be observed. There are several paradigms offered by different psychologists, scriptures, and various commissions and committees. We'll just pick up 2 of them. The most dominant influence in contemporary education is that of Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. He talks about several different types of intelligence that every human child possesses. The first one is the logico-mathematical intelligence, the intelligence that helps us in arguing, reasoning, problem solving. In other words, it is the algorithmic thinking of the human mind. While you interact with your children, do you notice whether your child argues with you, asks difficult question, doesn't get convinced easily, and keep on arguing till the time she has been satisfied with your solution? Please watch this kind of behavior of the child. The second important nature of intelligence is called linguistic or verbal intelligence. This is the intelligence which we use to express ourselves, articulate both in writing as well as orally. Imagine a teacher as a profession has to be able to speak well, to be able to communicate to the students and also influence. Similarly, an advocate, the way she argues is important for helping the judge to take the decision. A doctor who practices medicine is not only giving medicine or prescribing medicine, but the way the doctor talks to the patient, providing him or her the courage to stand up. Similarly, public speaking is a typical domain of excellence in linguistic intelligence. In our day-to-day school life, it's important to remember that a child may know a lot, but you and I, the teacher and the parent, we understand by the way she articulates her knowledge. So it's very important that the children must be able to articulate. Again, have you ever noticed carefully how effectively children communicate with you? If it is very well, make sure that she may develop into a good professional where speaking is an important skill. Another domain is called kinesthetic or bodily intelligence, also called bodily smart or body smart. Just now we saw a few children jumping around, playing something. There are many other ways. For example, dance requires a tremendous amount of bodily intelligence. Same is with drama. Different kinds of sports and games where not only the face, but the face, the legs, the hands, the body, everything comes into picture. You must have noticed in the television when the cricket is played how some of the fieldspersons or fielders, they really jump and remain parallel in the air to take a catch. Look at a dancer, look at a great dramatist, and similarly in the sports arena, how they manipulate or manage their body to create excellence. Here, imagine what is so great about sowers. Pele, Sachin Tendulkar, and the grand old Don Bradman, they displayed a giant leap in kinesthetic intelligence. Next is the musical intelligence. Have you noticed whether your child, after just listening once on the television or the radio, starts humming the song? That indicates that your child is tremendously empowered with musical intelligence. We talk about Rahman, Ustad Bismillah Khan, and many other musicians. They're basically the musical exponents with strong musical intelligence. You need to watch your child. Do you do that on a regular basis? Next is called spatial intelligence or intelligence with respect to space. It's the understanding of space which is very, very abstract. Think of an architect or a planner. What lies before the architect or the planner is a huge open field. Actually, nothing exists. But the planner and the architect is able to see a building. Similarly, a painter has just a blank canvas, but the painter sees the composition and the painting. Similarly, a sculptor. Many of you may know that Michelangelo, one of the most famous sculptors of the world, was asked, how does he do such beautiful sculpting? Michelangelo says, he actually doesn't do any sculpting. He only chisels out all the unnecessary pieces of stones. But imagine how to chisel out unnecessary pieces unless you know what are the necessary pieces in the stone. That's sculpting. Are you watching your child? Whether she is displaying some kind of special intelligence during her day-to-day activities. Yet another is called intrapersonal intelligence. Intelligence that helps one keep cool, manage the emotion. I always admire Saina Nehwal, the great badminton player. Have you noticed whether she is defeated or she has won, her smile is on. Same with Sachin Tendulkar after he scores a century. Or occasionally if he gets a duck, smile remains unchanged. That's the indication that they are able to manage their anger, their emotion very, very well. What about your child? Have you carefully observed whether your child remains cool even when she is actually upset, even when she should have actually got angry, or she gets angry very easily? We need to understand, observe them. Next is the interpersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence helps us to relate to others, making friends, which is very necessary today in a socially connected world. What about your child? Does she find easy to make friends with others, or she stays as isolate? You need to watch carefully. If she is friendly, well and good. If she is an isolate, you may have to help. The next is called naturalistic intelligence. The intelligence which is used to nurture environment. You know, there are a lot of people who tend plants very well. They take care of the animals, pets at home. Even some of them are so fond that even a street dog, a stray animal, they can't but go near them and pat them. This kind of intelligence is called naturalistic intelligence. What about your child? Does he show any tendency towards tending the plants, animals, and caring the environment? The last but most important possibly is called the existential intelligence. Intelligence that raises deeper questions in life. Students, children, and even adults, many of them are very inquisitive. They're all the time in search of new information, new knowledge, and wisdom. That is the deeper questions in life. What do they do is they study a lot, research a lot. Still, number of questions doesn't get reduced. All the time, they're searching deeper and deeper in every field that they come across. What about your child?
Paradigm has been offered by the International Commission on Education for 21st Century. The report is Learning the Treasure Within. Human beings live in 4 planes of living. Physical plane implies living in physical or bodily plane. It hence also implies health. The second, that is the mental plane, refers to self-smart and people-smart intelligence managing negative emotions. Thirdly, the intellectual plane refers to the logico-mathematical and linguistic intelligence. The last, that is the spiritual plane, refers to existential intelligence, ability to ask deeper questions leading to exploration, adventure, reaching beyond self and the like. Our lives are lived in all these planes.
Our final point is to both parents and teachers. Please watch the child carefully and identify his and her potentials. It is relatively easy for parents to watch and identify because they have only one or two children to observe at home. But it is substantially difficult for teachers who have the responsibility of observing 40 to 60 children depending upon the class size. That's where we need partnership between teachers and parents.